Good evening and welcome to 643rd meeting of Kolkata Toastmasters Club. Well, in every Toastmasters meeting, there are three basic rules. Rule number one, kindly don't unmute yourself unless or until it's your chance to speak. Rule number two, kindly don't prompt the speaker without the prior permission of the president. And rule number three, kindly refrain from using sex, religion, and politics in a derogatory manner. Well, with rules being set, let's move on. Theme for today is Chinese bamboo. When I first heard that this term, I thought it will be related to global warming or some ecological terms. But when I came to know about its reality, I was nowhere close. Actually, it's related to patience that most of from our generation lacks. To be honest, I am very impatient guy. I want things to be done very quickly. Even when I go to some places, I want that train should be on time. Why is it late? So I am that kind of guy. I am very impatient, and I'm not proud about it. But yeah, I know I have to learn patience in order to get a success and achievement in my life. With this, let's call upon someone who is very patient and she never loses his cool, whatever be the situation. She is someone who deals with every situation calmly and make sure that things work out as she expected. Without any further ado, please welcome the serene standing president for today, Toastmaster Mridula Singh Gupta. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sumit, for that lovely introduction. And welcome, my dear Toastmasters and esteemed guests, to the 643rd session of Kolkata Toastmasters Club. Can we have a huge round of applause for the oldest community club of Eastern India? I welcome you all to this wonderful meeting, and I'm very excited to have the theme of the day, Unwrapping and Unraveling, by the Toastmaster of the day. Before that, I would like to say that what is the theme of the day? As rightly said by Toastmaster Sumit, it is the Chinese bamboo tree. Well, friends, life does not happen by chance. It happens by change. It happens by your regular persistence and your perseverance. So if you have been facing some trouble in some part of your life and you feel that you have been putting in honest efforts, but the rewards are not coming in, or maybe you are not getting the kind of appreciation you would have looked for or you would have expected. But hold on, hold your breath and hold your horses, for the rewards which are just like at the tip of the iceberg, but just below the surface of the water. Keep on putting your efforts, and I'm sure you will definitely be successful. Before we move on with the course of the meeting, I would like to invite our guests to introduce themselves, and we would like to know from where did they get to know about Toastmasters and what is their present engagement. So with that, I would like to invite the guests to kindly volunteer by raising your hand, by using the raise your hand option, or kindly unmuting yourself and introducing yourself to all the lovely Toastmasters out here. So who would like to come up first? I can see Dr. Swati. So would you like to unmute yourself? Yes. Please unmute yourself and introduce yourself to us. Ma'am, you are muted. Dr. Swati, you are muted. Yeah.
Thank you. My name is Dr. Swati Shom. I am a Toastmasters for Pune entrepreneurs. I'm thinking of starting a club in Kolkata called Toastmasters for Kolkata entrepreneurs. And I was just seeing what is the scene out there in the Kolkata Toastmasters. There are lots of Toastmaster clubs I see, and I haven't attended to many of them. So I thought I would want to spread the word that I'm planning to start such a club and go from there.
Thank you so much, Dr. Swati. Welcome to our session, and we would love to hear your feedback right after the meeting. We also have, thank you for joining us today. We also have guest Shomnath, guest Amrita, and guest Aparajita. Would you guys like to unmute yourself one by one and introduce yourself to the lovely Toastmasters here? Yes. Shomnath,
Hi,
I
this is
think.
Shomnath here.
Yes. Hi. Good evening.
Hi, you
Welcome
able
to
to
the
hear me?
Yes, you are perfectly audible. Please go on.
Yeah. So I am I'm a Toastmaster of One Cognizant Toastmasters Club, and I just came to know about this today's meeting from one of my club mate, Toastmaster Abhishek, who is going to deliver a speech today. So thought to interest to join and see how the meetings goes on to get an experience.
Thank you,
This is
Toastmaster
what.
Shomnath, for
Thank
joining
you.
us. Hope you have a lovely time in the meeting today. I would request guest Kritika. Could you please unmute yourself and introduce yourself to us?
Hi, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Hi, I'm Kritika Saptarishi. I'm a student of MA Economics from Jalpur University, and I've heard about Toastmasters ever since I joined college, but I never really got the opportunity to be a part of it. And I don't really want to be a part of it, and this is my first meeting, and I'm looking forward to learning a lot from all of you. Thank
Great
you.
to have you here, Kritika. Thank you for joining us today, and I hope you will be joining us in the future sessions, and both of us will be able to learn from each other. I would be requesting all the other guests to kindly introduce yourself. Yes, who is this? Yes, please go ahead.
Hello. Yeah.
Yeah, you are audible. Please go ahead. Realme 5 Pro, you are audible. Please go on if you would like to introduce yourself. All right. So I would be requesting all the other guests to kindly share one or two points about you and why you would like to join Toastmasters, and from where did you get to know about KTM. So in the chat box, kindly introduce yourself in the chat box, and we'll be getting back to you right after the meeting in the guest feedback session. So before we move on to the session, we have someone who I would like to introduce to all of you. So he is somebody who has been an all-rounder. He is a teacher, a musician, a wonderful singer, and one of the most energetic people I have met in Toastmasters. Our very own Vice President membership with the theme of the day, the Chinese bamboo. Please help me welcome the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Gurpreet Singh.
Thank you, Madam President, and a very good evening to all fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Recently, ladies and gentlemen, I have been intrigued by this particular tree, which is called the Chinese bamboo. Now, this tree grows to a height of 80 feet, and it takes around 5 years and 3 months to grow to its potential. But here's the interesting bit. For the first 5 years after you plant the seeds, you see nothing. Absolutely nothing. And in the next 3 months, it shoots up to a towering 80 feet. Ladies and gentlemen, therefore, there is a lot that we can learn from the Chinese bamboo. But before I elaborate that to you this evening, allow me to elaborate the basic structure of a typical Toastmasters meeting. Now, a typical Toastmasters meeting, ladies and gentlemen, has 3 sessions. The first, the prepared speech section, where we have the prepared speakers with their set of speeches to be delivered within a limited time frame, followed by the table topic session, where we have a table topic master who will be doling out some impromptu topics. The members and the guests are allowed to participate, and they'll have to speak for a minimum of 1 and a maximum of 2 minutes and think on their feet. And the third session of any Toastmasters meeting, ladies and gentlemen, is called the bread and butter session at any Toastmasters meeting, which is the evaluation session where the evaluators evaluate the speech of the prepared speakers as well as the table topic speakers. And since we are talking about evaluation, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to welcome somebody on the virtual podium who is calm as a cucumber, sharp as a pin, the Mr. Perfectionist at Kolkata Toastmasters Club, the general evaluator for the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Toastmaster Naren Agarwal as the general evaluator for this evening. Over to you, Toastmaster Naren.
Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster of the Day, for the very kind introduction. I'm very happy to be doing the general evaluation session today because this is my first general evaluation session. I guess also as a Chinese bamboo tree, this is my journey of growth in Toastmasters, just all of a sudden springing up as a general evaluator. But friends, just like any tree needs a lot of nutrition to grow, because without nutrition and the manure, no tree can grow. Just like that, there is the evaluation in a Toastmasters meeting, because that evaluation acts as the manure for us to grow and develop just like a tree. So today I'm going to be acting as a general evaluator for the meeting. And for that, and to evaluate the meeting well, I have a team with me. So I would like to call upon my team one by one. They will introduce themselves and their role for the day and how they will be assisting me. So first, welcoming the timer of the day, Toastmaster Raghav Kedia. Toastmaster Raghav.
Hello. Am I audible? Hello.
Yes, you are. Please, Toastmaster Raghav.
A very good evening to all the Toastmasters present here. My role today is the role of a timer. I will ensure that every speaker doesn't speak below the required time and also does not cross the allotted time limit. Today, there is a new type of table topic session also. First, I would like to speak about the normal speech time. The normal speech timing is 5 to 7 minutes with a 30 seconds of grace period on both the lower end and the upper end. So I'll show a green card when it's 5 minutes. I will show a yellow card when it's 6 minutes, and I will show a red card when it's 7 minutes. Then comes the evaluation. For evaluation, the time limit is 2 to 3 minutes. It also has a grace period of 30 seconds, both on the lower and the upper end. So I will be showing a green card at 2 minutes, a yellow card at 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and a red card at 3 minutes. Today, a table topic session has been changed a little bit. So today the table topic timing is 1 minute to 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So I will be showing a green card at the beginning of 1 minute and will show a yellow card from 1 minute and 30 seconds. And then I will show a red card at the end of 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Please note that in the table topic session, there is no 30-second grace period at the lower end, but there is a 30 seconds grace period on the upper end. So the speaker has to speak for a minimum of 1 minute to a maximum of 3 minutes. Thank you. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Raghav. I would like to call upon Toastmaster Umang as the counter. Toastmaster Umang.
Good evening, everyone. This is Umang Agarwal. I am the counter for the today's meeting, and my role is to jot down the filler words such as so, like, you know, basically, actually, and etc. Of the speakers who will present in the virtual stage. So I will present my report at the end of the meeting when I will be called upon to do so. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Umang. I would like to now call upon the grammarian for the day, Toastmaster Muskan. Toastmaster Muskan.
Good evening, fellow guests and Toastmasters. The festivals are around the corner, and I'm sure you must be feasting on several mouth-watering delicacies. But imagine if you don't put the right amount of salt or sugar in it. How would that feel? You might feel terrible, and you will not enjoy the delicacies as you wanted to. Likewise, if you are speaking and not using the correct grammar, it would not feel so good. So I am here to note down the correct, the good and not so good usages of English language. But before I do that, I want you to introduce the word of the day, which is jubilation. It is a noun, which means a feeling of great triumph and happiness. If we use it in a sentence, it can be attending KTM's 643rd meeting is the reason behind my jubilation. I would urge all the speakers, the members, the guests to use the word of the day as much as they can and appreciate the speakers using the word of the day by showing a thumbs up sign or maybe showing your reaction through Zoom application. Thank you so much. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Muskan, for that great introduction. I would now like to call upon Toastmaster Anam as the wow counter for the day. Toastmaster Anam.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I am the wow counter for the day, and as a wow counter, it is my job to point out the top 3 wow moments of the meeting. And as a theme of the day is the Chinese bamboo. Much like that, much like the tree, everyone has that potential to shine, to make a mark. So I think I want you all to capitalize on that potential and give us that moment to be remembered and make us go wow. So I will present my report when called upon to do so by the General Evaluator. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Anam. And finally, the final role player for the day who's assisting me, Toastmaster Keshav as the parliamentarian. Toastmaster Keshav. Toastmaster Keshav. I believe Toastmaster Keshav cannot be heard. Toastmaster Keshav, if you can hear us. Okay. Is anybody else willing to take up the parliamentarian role since Toastmaster Keshav is not present so that we can continue with the meeting? Can anybody volunteer, please? Could you raise your hand? Toastmaster Keshav, we cannot hear you. Could you please unmute and speak? Okay, Toastmaster Keshav.
I think Toastmaster Keshav is facing some issues.
Yeah.
So I will be taking it up. Nadi?
Okay. Thank you, Toastmaster Mridula, and the standing president of the day. Toastmaster Mridula, would you like to please give the introduction for the role?
Yes, absolutely. So thank you, Toastmaster Nareen. Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. So as a parliamentarian of the meeting, my role is to ensure that all the parliamentary norms are followed throughout the meeting. Specifically, avoid looking at the phones or keeping yourself on unmute mode while a speaker is on stage. Avoid side talks as in during the Zoom meeting, during the meeting is on, avoid chatting or posting anything on the Zoom chat, which will distract the speaker on the podium. Show a thumbs up, and as soon as you find anybody using the word of the day, and try to encourage them by applauding at the end of, after the end of each speaker, right? Avoid any prompting without the prior permission of the president, and I would request everybody to avoid the usage of sex, religion, and politics in a derogatory manner. I would also request everybody to use the full forms of Toastmasters related terms like Project One, Dynamic Leadership, and Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster, as well as Distinguished Toastmaster. Apart from this, I believe if everybody follows the parliamentary norms of the meeting, we will ensure a very smooth and seamless meeting and find ample wow moments for Toastmaster Anam to point out. Thank you, and back to you, Mr. General Evaluator. I will be back with my report at the end of the meeting when called upon to do so. Back to you. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Madam Standing President of the meeting. Thanks for taking that up so quickly and assisting me in my first general evaluation ever. I appreciate that. Well, folks, let's get started with the meeting. We will present our evaluations at the end of the meeting. Over to Toastmaster of the Day, the vibrant Toastmaster, Gurpreet Singh.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Naren Agarwal, and a good evening once again to all of you who joined late. So we were discussing about the Chinese bamboo and how when you plant a seed, it takes 5 years and 3 months to grow to a towering 80 feet. But nothing happens, as I said, in the first 60 months. That is 5 years. You see nothing, ladies and gentlemen. The roots create a complex and complicated network to ensure that they are strong enough to allow the tree soar above all else. In this era of instant coffee and fast food, of get rich quick schemes and lose weight quicker regimes, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to pause, to think, and to learn from the Chinese bamboo that patience has its own reward. That nothing of substance would happen at the click of a button, ladies and gentlemen. At times, we are so impatient that we want the payoff instantly. And what happens is we keep pulling the root to see whether they are growing stronger or not. And ladies and gentlemen, when you actually do it, they don't grow. With that, allow me to welcome the first speaker for the evening. But before that, I would like to have her evaluator, Toastmaster Rahul Maheshwari, to elaborate the speech objectives. Over to you, Toastmaster Rahul.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Gurpreet. Well, the speaker is delivering her Level 2 Project 1 from the Pathways Innovative Planning. And the purpose of the project is for the member to identify his or her primary leadership style or styles. The purpose of this speech is for the member to share some aspect of his or her primary leadership style or discuss leadership styles in general. Timer, please note that the timing is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best, all the very best to the speaker. Back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rahul Maheshwari. Now, when I asked the speaker, what is her opinion of patience? What does she think about patience? She said, patience and perseverance are keys to success. What a bright thought. Mentored by distinguished Toastmaster Rohan Nag, put your hands together for Toastmaster Anisha Agarwal with the speech titled, A Better Version, Toastmaster Anisha Agarwal.
Could you please keep the timer in the spotlight?
Yes, it is, Toastmaster Anisha.
Yes. Leadership is hard to define, and leadership is hard to define, and a good leadership is even harder. But if you can get people to follow to the ends of the earth, you are a great leader. By Indra Nooyi. Good evening, fellow leaders. Leadership is a tough thing to do, and as a first-time leader in my late 20s, I honestly had no idea about leadership, let alone know what a leader meant to be. I didn't even know what's the difference between a leader and a manager. And this is where Toastmasters came to my rescue. My journey with Toastmasters, and especially this club, cannot be expressed merely in words. It has been a journey packed with a series of emotions. I still remember a day I walked in as a guest, all nervous and scared, because I wasn't much of a speaker and had never been a leader in my life. But this club gave me an opportunity to get out of the cocoon. I was appointed as the Associate Vice President, Public Relations and Marketing. This stint helped me to how to learn how to utilize time effectively and to do stellar work under crunch situations. This in turn really helped me to manage my personal as well as professional career. It enabled me to think beyond my comfort zone and to see things clearly. This stint enabled me to understand and interact with people in a better way. And even though the first few months were challenging, they were thrilling and life-altering. In the year 2019, from January to June, I again got an opportunity to exercise the leader within me. I became the Vice President, Public Relations, and led the club's marketing team. I learned a lot about how to stand for myself, not only for myself but also for the team as well. It taught me the true sense of leadership. It taught me that leadership is much more than getting the work done. And I made the best use of my team. And I made the best use of the team. Whenever we had to design flyers and come up with some PR campaigns, I always took their advice. And whatever we did, it was a team decision. During the end of the month, during the end of the term, I even let a few members of my team to design the flyers as well as run the campaigns. This entire experience nurtured the leader in me. It trained me how to not only mentor my team members, but also how to learn from others. Today, if I'm good at consensus building, it is because of this experience. When I took the leadership questionnaire in Pathways, I scored the highest in democratic style of leadership, and I was pleasantly surprised when I read this description of this style. Democratic leaders are those leaders who get their job done through consensus building and take into consideration the opinion of others. And this is exactly how I have been working in my professional setup as well. Though these two leadership experiences, I learned how to communicate effectively. I learned how to work as a team, how to work around people, how to work with people, and how to work for people. Because after all, no one can whistle a symphony. It takes a whole orchestra to play it. After all, teamwork makes the dream work. Well, to be honest, I could go on and on about this, and so I would like to just sum up by saying that being a part of the executive committee of Kolkata Toastmasters Club has become a dream come true, and I would like to take this opportunity to extend my gratitude to all the members of for their constant support. And I would and a special thanks to Mayank, Archita, Mridula, Rohit, and Rohanda for their support, and my entire marketing team, Deepak, Dyorshi, Atre, and Purvita. So, ladies and gentlemen, this experience has really helped me and changed me for the better. So, whenever you get an opportunity to lead, please go ahead and take it. Take it, as it will be a life-changing experience, and it will make a better version of yourselves. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anisha Agarwal. Keep the applause going for Toastmaster Anisha Agarwal. We are glad that you could explore the leader in you and become a better version of yourself. So, ladies and gentlemen, since Naren, Toastmaster Naren, is already giving me a smile, let's just again go back, delve deeper into the theme of the day, that is the Chinese bamboo. Now, at times we get so impatient that, as I was telling you, we pull the sapling to see if the roots are growing, and in the process, we spoil the effort of so many years for the last 5 years. We lack patience, ladies and gentlemen. And whenever I talk about patience, I talk about a Sri Lankan cricketer, Marwan Attapattu. I'm sure you must have heard his name. He captained the Sri Lankan side for quite a number of years. But when he was first selected to play at an international level for his own team, for his own country, ladies and gentlemen, in the first match, he scored 1. In the second, he scored 0 and was dropped from the team. After 2 years of first-class cricket, he was again selected to play to represent his country. And again, he scored a 0 in the first match and 1 in the second. Dropped again, played first-class cricket for 2 more years, came back to play for the country again. The same result, unfortunately, 0 in both the innings. The selectors decided that perhaps he lacked the skill to play at the international level. But ladies and gentlemen, he fought hard 4 years of first-class cricket again, and finally made his mark in international cricket, became the captain of the Sri Lankan cricket team, who went on to score 5,000 runs. So the next time you think of giving up, my friends, think about Marvanatapatu, think about the Chinese bamboo. With that, allow me to welcome the second speaker on the virtual podium this evening. But before that, can I have her evaluator, Toastmaster Vishesh Mehra, to elaborate the speech objectives? Over to you, Toastmaster Vishesh.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the evening. Good evening, one and all present here. So the purpose statement of the speaker for this project is for the member to identify her primary style or styles. The purpose of this speech is for the member to share some aspects of her primary leadership style or discuss leadership styles in general. Timer, please note, the speech time is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best to the speaker, and back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vishesh. Now, when I asked this speaker, what is her opinion and idea of patience? And she had a very simple, short, a very crisp answer, a very witty one as well. She said, it is something I lack. It is something she lacks. Put your hands together for Toastmaster Komal Chararia, who has been mentored by distinguished Toastmaster Archita Tiwari with the speech titled, A Latent Talent, Toastmaster Komal Chararia.
What could that be? Being able to bend your thumb backward? Or be a foodie yet skinny? Or wait, Master of Ceremonies, were you talking about leadership skills? For that's been a hidden talent in not just you, me, but all of us present here. We have been leaders for as long as I can remember, haven't we? In high school, in college, at workplace, and if not at these places, I'm sure you've tried to be a leader at your homes. Good evening, everyone. Today, I'm going to turn the reins to different phases of my life and tell you that how I have seen or been shown leadership skills. So consider a prefix of in hindsight when I state any instance today. Turning the wheel to 15 years ago, when I was in a position of power, I was a class monitor. I had the liberty of setting rules, like nobody could erase or write anything in the blackboard, that everybody had to stay while the teacher was absent. Now that I think of it, it was a sheer abuse of basic rights. But back then, I enjoyed my power of position and I demanded compliance as a bureaucratic leader. And if not adhered to, I would take the necessary steps and in that case, complain it right straight to the teacher without making a second thought. After gaining good amount of resentment from not only the people I did not like, but even my best friends, I realized that was not the kind of leader I aspired to be. For I wanted to be liked and be empathetic to the others' needs and requirements. And in that case, we allowed them their freedom of speech when the teacher was absent. Turning the reins to 5 years ago, when impressing the teacher was not one of my prime goals. Being amongst people from different background and culture made me realize the essence of if you never start, you'll never know. And that became an important foundation for me as a leader, to initiate. As we all know, the first times of everything isn't just exciting, but equally challenging. And so was mine when I headed the committee which was responsible for organizing the Interdepartment Fest. The only experience that I had was that of a class monitor. And now I had to deal with 10 different departments, keeping in mind their expectations and goals. Working with many meant that I had to deal with contrasting opinions. And as a democratic leader, I not only heard them, but analyzed all their opinions and ideas equally and rationally, giving alternate solutions to the ideas that were being opposed. For example, instead of just hosting the event on social media, I suggested that we host a series of green initiatives, like through skits or plantation drives, that would gain traction from not just our department, but from the entire college. This idea not only gained traction from every department, but also set a bar for the committee to come as the promotion was different from the previous promotion. In hindsight, recognizing myself as an innovative leader. Turning the calendar to 3 years ago, when I was jubilant as it was my first day at my Kolkata office. I had imagined this day to be a day full of interactions with my team members and a day spent understanding the work. But to my surprise, it was a day with the only interaction being with my laptop and the only companion was a cup of tea. I was really disappointed. For I had thought to be a day where I would have engagement with my team members. But my team lead was nonchalant about making the team members feel inclusive. And I thought to myself, that was not the kind of leader I aspired to be. Over a period of 3 years, I also realized that being authoritative was not the kind of leader I could associate myself with. For I focused more on empathy, active listening, and effective communication between the team members rather than just setting goals and making people follow that path. Turning the reins to all the phases of my life at once, where we've had our elder siblings and our parents being a guiding light. If you have been one, I'm sure you are all of the leadership styles that I just mentioned. Bureaucratic, because you're the dictators in power. You set rules like you have to come home by 10 o'clock. You cannot date that boy because you don't feel it right. You have to get up at 5 a.m. in the morning. Democratic, by asking them what they want to have for dinner, but giving them the options of Karela, Hindi, and Tool, pointed guard, bitter guard, and bottle guard. By being innovative, by coming up with interesting, innovative ideas to make their lives harder. But also altruistic, because you're always thinking positive for them no matter what may come. But, if you haven't got a chance to be either a school monitor or a class representative or a team lead or even a bossy leader at your home, you know where to be. Toastmasters International. For it not only gives you a platform to unleash your talent, but also sets you on the right pathway. I was oblivious of all these leadership styles unless I took the test through which I identified myself as a democratic and altruistic leader. We all have the qualities of being a leader. It's just when we're ready to unleash it, we realize it's true magic. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Komal Chararia, and keep the applause going. I think we should not be miserly with our applause when it comes to applauding people for their efforts. Wonderful, Toastmaster Komal Chararia. I personally remember being the school monitor from class 4 to 10 and then going on to become the school vice captain and captain. At times, my parents wondered whether I was going to school or for some vocation or to office. So moving on with the theme of the day, patience and persistence pay off in the long run in your life, your career, or if it is a sport. Now, Winston Churchill once visited a school where the kids asked him, "Sir, what is the secret of success in life?" And Churchill said, just 7 words: never give up. Never, never give up. So that is what Winston Churchill had to tell the kids at that school about the secret of success in life. With that, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to call the third speaker for the evening on the virtual podium. But before that, can I have his evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster, Sriram Venkataraman, to elaborate the speech objectives. Sir, the stage is all yours.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day. I'm audible. Can you just give me a sign? Yeah, thank you. So today, the speaker is going to attempt a project titled Inspire Your Audience. So right from the term, you can easily identify the purpose of this project is for the member to inspire the audience with his or her own speech. There are a few notes for the evaluator as well. That is, the speech should be engaging and the speaker should be entertaining and moving around the flow. And also the speaker should be very aware of the audience response as well as adapt the speech as needed. So I'm sure that it is going to be a jubilation speech for me because I love witnessing inspiring stories and I do inspire a lot from others. So all the best, speaker. And before timer. The time limit is 5 to 7 minutes. 5 minutes for green, 6 minutes for amber, 7 you can show the red, and 30 seconds grace time is allowed for the speaker to wrap it up. So I wish you all the best, speaker. Over to Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Sri Ram Venkataraman. The next speaker on stage is somebody who is mellifluous. He's an enigma on stage, ladies and gentlemen, mentored by distinguished Toastmaster Chen Pant. Let us welcome with a big round of applause Toastmaster Avishek Datta with the speech title, The Real Superhero. The Real Superhero. Toastmaster Avishek Datta.
It was on a Friday, 28th of May 1999. My father returned from his work, as always, sharp at 6:30 p.m. But there was something different that day. Surely there was something different. Because like every other day, he didn't go to take a shower. He didn't even switch on the TV to watch the news bulletins. My mom got his cup of coffee, and I was just getting ready for my tuition classes because my board exams were just a couple of years away and I need to be serious. All of a sudden, we heard him saying, I have taken up voluntary retirement today. What? My mother just looked shocked after hearing this. Yes, you heard it right. Today was the last day in my organization. They have decided to shut down their operations from the Eastern Zone and had asked me to relocate to Mumbai or take up VRS. And you took up VRS? My mother was still in a state of shock. Yes, I did. I did. Since I just can't afford to leave my family and go to Mumbai. See, my son needs me. My son needs me. His board exams are coming soon. So what? Do you have any plans for tomorrow now? How are we going to meet our needs? You should have at least discussed with me before taking this decision. I could see tears dropping down from my mother's eyes. I'm sorry, but I was just given 5 minutes and I thought this to be the best option. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I still get goosebumps, you know. I was hardly 13 then, and I was simply clueless on what's going on. A 44-year-old man losing a well-settled job is the last thing that someone would like to go through. And my father was going through the same. I was very immature since even at that time, I was thinking that this was just a minor problem. My father was calm and he never looked disturbed. Hardly had I known what's going to come next. A 44-year-old man with no basic knowledge in computers was searching for a job. The amount he received from VRS would take care of his family maybe for the next 18 months. But then what? I could see him struggling each and every day just for a job. The doors were closed for him everywhere he tried. Yes, of course, not to mention about few relatives and neighbors who were tailor-made for such situations, you know, to pinch in some salt on your buns. Mr. Datta, nowadays you're on a vacation or something. Don't see you go out that often, said someone who was very much aware of what the family was going through. But my father was always calm. Maybe you're not aware. I've taken up VRS and I'm spending my time, some quality time with my family. Maybe he told that to them, but I knew how exactly he felt. He was replying to those questions, but he was never feeling good about it. But, he never lost hope. What seemed initially to be a few days of struggle went on for a few months, and then practically a year went by. But hardly there was any luck. One fine morning, out of nowhere, my father received a call from one of his long-lost chameleon friend, Padmanabhan uncle. Hey Ashish, need your help to set up a business in Kolkata. Will you assist me? We can be partners. Without even thinking twice, my father said yes to him. We all were a bit apprehensive, since there was a little bit of investment that was required, and it seemed like my father would be losing all his savings. So many negative thoughts came to our mind. But do we have any other options? Nothing. Actually, nothing. My father was positive, and so were we. The business mainly dealt with wholesale medicine distribution, and it started after a lot of struggle in procuring a drug trade license. It's really difficult. It started at a snail speed, but just like a Chinese bamboo tree, after a couple of years, it grew very fast. I could see the excitement of my father for owning up something. At the age of 45, that man started his second innings and was completely passionate about the new thing. He was looking energetic like a 25-year-old boy who just started his career. Right from taking up purchase orders, establishing rapport with some good hospitals, and also getting the delivery done on a timely manner, he was unstoppable. And he did that single-handedly. Padmanabhan uncle was there, who was also involved with a lot of other ventures, and so he had to move out after a couple of years. My father still considers him to be an angel. God had sent him to help me out and get me where I am today. Had he been not there, I would have never thought of setting up my own business. My father is right, actually. Padmanabhan uncle's sudden appearance and exit made me to believe even more that if God shuts down door on one side, he will make sure to open on the other side. My father continued his business for 19 long years before he decided to officially hang up his boots and enjoy retired life. In these 19 years, the goodwill that he had established helps us even today. Even if there is a shortage of a particular medicine in Kolkata, just a call from my father's mobile help us to get it arranged for someone in just an hour's time. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not a huge fan of the superhero flicks, to be very honest. But for me, my father is that real superhero who made me understand that life sometimes may be very unfair, but you should never ever lose your hope. To reach to a solution, the first step is to believe that there is a solution. If you think that there is no solution, you won't be able to reach any. What do you think, Mr. Tiamuri? Isn't my superhero an inspiration to you as well? Over to you. Thank you.
Wow, just wow. What a deep message. The real superhero, Toastmaster Abhishek Datta, indeed your father. Salam to him, salute to him for the years of hard work that he put in that finally managed to, have a prospering business. So that is what I have been talking about. Build a strong root, build strong roots to ensure that you have a great tree prospering. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the end of the prepared speech section. Now we move on to something, the second session of any Toastmasters meeting, and quite interesting. And we have an interesting person to conduct the session, the table topic session, somebody who is again a Mr. Perfectionist, I would say, very serene, very tranquil, the table topic master for the evening, Toastmaster Achyut Todi. The stage is all yours.
Thank you so much, table topic. Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day. Good evening, Toastmasters guests. I just want to do a quick check of my audio and my ability to share screen so that we can proceed smoothly with the session.
You're clearly audible.
I'll just do a check of sharing my screen. Just a minute. Can everyone see a green timer card? Don't worry, I'm not replacing Raghav's role, just a proxy screen.
Yes, it's visible. Yes.
Got it. Thank you so much. All right. So coming to the session, just a second. So, right. Now, jumping right into it, can I get a quick show of hands to as to if people understand what is the objectives of a table topic session? In any manner, just some response would give me a clue. Great. So thank you, Rahul. I can see yours on video. Just to ensure that all of us are on the same page and drawing insights from a wonderful and very informative session held by DTM Abdul Rahim on table topics, he outlined two major objectives: the ability to expound on one's thought in a concise yet coherent manner. And second, to be able to add value to the audience, add value to yourself, and deliver a message through it. Now, today's session, we are going to try to get into something which is slightly different, an aberration from the norm. But before we get into it, I would like to hear from the audience. Now, just a quick show of hands again, on how many of us have opinions on anything? How many of us hold opinions on things, right? I guess that's most of us. We have opinions on something or the other. That's great. Now, how many of us know what is the work required to have an opinion? Can I get some response there? I mean, you're quick to judge things. I know I would be too. I still am on most things. Right? Very quick to judge. Not necessarily in a derogatory manner, but still have an opinion. Now, in the words of a brilliant contemporary mind, this is what he believes. I never allow myself to have an opinion on anything that I don't know the other side's argument better than they do. Can anyone guess who has said these profound lines? Arguably famous person. All right. This was said by none other than Charlie Munger. A brilliant mind, for those who know, an authority, not an extreme authority, but a definitely informed opinion on most subjects. And he's the support structure behind Berkshire Hathaway, right? In fact, Warren Buffett calls himself his partner, although his technical position is an executive vice president, I think. Now, how is this relevant to all of us, right? When we look at an issue, we often look at it from one side. But to be able to clearly have a position on that issue, we need to be able to look at both sides, especially the opposing side. When we put ourselves in the shoes of others in the opposing side, we get a clear perspective of what they think, but a clearer perspective of our own position. Now, you may wonder, what does this have to do with table topics? Well, today, I recollected two objectives of a table topic session. And here I am adding a third, that is being able to hold an opinion. And like Mr. Munger said, what is the work required to be able to hold an opinion? We need to be able to articulate our thoughts on points against our own opinion. Now, clarifying and simplifying this, how are we going to achieve this? In today's session, a topic will be given, like it's done in usual table topic sessions. A speaker will have to take a stance for, against, on the fence, their choice, and then they would have to oppose their stance. Whatever stance they take, they have to flip the switch and take the exact opposite stance. The timings for this are going to differ a little. So here is what this is. A minimum of 1 minute, it's highlighted by green, to a mean time of 1 minute 30 seconds for each stance. That brings us to a total of 2 minutes and 30 seconds, at which the red card will be shown, and it will be continued to be held up by the timer until 3 minutes, after which the speaker will be timed out. What this means is the speaker should strive to speak for a minimum of 1 minute for each stance, and to be able to deliver a complete speech, they would have to speak for a minimum of 1 minute for either stance and wrap up their complete speech, that means both stances, within 3 minutes. Guests can request for a change in topic. There is just one change in topic in case they would wish to. And my dear members, we have taken a pledge in Toastmasters. That pledge explains that we have promised to help one another learn and grow. What this means is I'm being an authoritative leader here, and I will not make it easy for you. So you will have to attempt to speak on the given topic. And of course, you can volunteer to come up. But like the rule of majorities, if no one volunteers, then I have to be a ruthless authoritative leader and pick someone from the crowd. Okay, that's enough of rules, enough of context setting. Let's dive straight into this. And I would like to, I'm going to stop sharing screen so we can see the entire audience. I would love to have people's cameras up so that the speaker is encouraged. In case you can, please do switch on your cameras so the speaker can see a full house that he's speaking to. And the first speaker, I can see one hand up, two hands up. All right, I'm going to go first with Dr. Rupesh Singh. Dr. Rupesh Singh. Timer, are we ready, Raghav? Sorry, this is slightly convoluted, so I'm just doing an unnecessary check again. Right, so Dr. Rupesh, your topic is befriending parents. Befriending parents, Dr. Rupesh Singh.
I'm very good evening, fellow Toastmasters, would be Toastmaster in this forum. If I heard this topic is a befriending parents.
Sorry, it's befriending parents. I'll just type it out. Sorry. That basically means becoming friends with your parents.
Okay. Befriending parents.
Yes.
Okay. So in today's world, it is very necessary, but if you recall our recent days, even you go to the era of Ramayana and Mahabharata, this is what it teaches. I heard the slogan of my father, the day when your shoes or your slippers, your child can wear, he is your friend. That means at a certain age, your parents need to behave as your friend. But same time, if your father is giving hand in your shoulder, doesn't mean you need to be a very indisciplined. That shows how transparent you need to be with your kids. There's a healthy relation he's talking about. If you are talking about the mother, just remember the movie called Padman. This is one of the evil, first time some movie came, he talks about. Just think if any kid, any child is not familiar, not family with the mother, how she will get that knowledge to educate herself. Same with the father. Father in our country, known as he is a very strict person. He will teach you what to do, what to not do. Mother is a very soft-hearted, always have a love behind it. The thing is, if he will be strict all the time, might be that he will go on emotion, might be his whole study, what he need to do, whole discipline will go out. That's the reason. In a friendly manner, he need to take child, this is the time to do this. Might be his father is the best I'll say, pathfinder for him. He might suggest based on his experience what I do. This is what I learned from even when I was in college days, I used to think my father is one of the best enemy, I'll say. Because whenever I chose to do something, he was the guy he used to oppose. After intermediate, I thought I'll become lawyer. He dragged me to one lower court. He told me, you are seeing that black coat guys, what they are doing? They are just taking 2 rupees and they are begging for this. He's a notary. This is what you want to become. After my master's degree, I got selected in All India Radio as an announcer. His word was, what do you want to do? In the evening, he will come, hello, मैं रुपेश कुमार बोल रहा हूं, इनसे समाचार सुनिए. This is what you did, whole master's degree. This is what I took my PF and made you for this master's degree in computer science. He told, if you really want to do, go to Patna and prepare for IAS and IPS. He was strict. He was just trying to find the path for me. He was not that much educated, but he knows these are the area where he'll get success. He might be go on administrative role and he'll do that. But finally, might be something else were written for me. But whatever administrative things he thought of, that I'm utilizing now. That happened because he was sometimes friendly, sometimes strict, and I will choose my career. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rupesh, for taking the first attempt at it. I realize that this this concept can be a little challenging and confusing. So I will repeat a few rules just to get everyone on the same page. Rule number 1 is when a topic is given, please take a position, any position, for or against it immediately, right? If I understand correctly, what Dr. Rupesh ended up doing was he sort of was explaining his position and then switching between the positions in his speech of which lasted for about 3 minutes. What we have to do is take one clear position, right? So if it was befriending parents, I could say parents should be our best friends and then elaborate on reasons, speak for a minute. However, and then when it comes to 1 minute 30 seconds, I can use a transitionary word like however. I don't think I should actually be friends with my parents. They'll see me on Facebook. They will know what I'm doing. All the things which I'm supposed to hide with my parents, but share with my friends will be mingled. And there goes my social life. So that stance will have to change between the first segment and the second segment, both of which will have to be done within the first 3 minutes. The second thing is just repeating how the timing cards will be shown. After a minute, the green card will be shown, which means you have completed the minimum time for your first stance. The yellow card will be shown, which indicates that you should switch immediately. And the red card will be shown after you have spoken for the minimum of 1 minute on the second stance, which is at 2 minutes 30 seconds at best. And you will have to start wrapping up your session, your stance or your complete speech within 30 seconds of the red card being shown. So clearly, once again, 1 minute green card, 1:30 yellow card, and 2:30 red card, which will stay up until 3 minutes, right? If there are any doubts that anyone might have, can you please ask me? Seems like we're clear to go. So with this, I would like to call the next speaker. Okay, I can see a lot of hands. Rahul has been putting his hand up twice. Rahul, you're up next. Yes, we will get to this with the permission of the president. Rahul, your topic is meetings are a waste of time. Meetings are a waste of time, Toastmaster Rahul.
Decisions are the lifeline of any organization and for any life as well. And those decisions take place where? Where do they take place? Yes, right there in the meetings. But trust me, meetings are not the only place that happen in a boardroom. There's a meeting with yourself as well when you have it, a one-to-one talk with yourself. And I don't think that meetings are a waste of time, because meetings are the opportunities that help you make a good decision, that help you take you where you want to go. And that is what meetings does to you. Meetings is what helps you organizing what you actually want. It helps you give a clear and concise manner that what you actually want to persevere towards. And that is why meetings are the very important aspect of whatever you want to do. Today, while we're learning public speaking, meetings, the regular meetings that we have is what making us a better version of ourselves. And these meetings are where we are able to voice our opinions, learn a lot of new stuff from people who have achieved where we want to be and from where we can impart our knowledge. So meetings are not a waste of time. Meetings is the lifeline of any organizations, like I've said, and it will continue to be the lifeline of any organization. But like we said, Friday evening meetings, 1.5 hours, Toastmasters, this is crazy. Spending 1.5 hours in a Toastmasters meetings Friday evening, if you might not have been in a Corona situation, this would have been the best time to go out and have fun with your friends, rather than working on yourself on a Friday evening. You have been working on yourself throughout the week, but give yourself that Friday, and that meeting for us actually hampers that. MS Dhoni said that he's not a very good big fan of having meetings. He likes people to understand their own nuances, understand their own positives and strengths, and take decisions for themselves. A meeting is somewhere where there is 1 or 2% dictating terms or maybe discussing, but they're always at a point of authority. And that is where meetings do lack a little. The time aspect is completely different, but the perspective aspect is what meetings lack. Meetings, people say that it is a place where many people can meet and voice their opinions, but is it really that point? Meetings are also a place where there's just one or two person, maybe in a cricket match, the coach, the mentor, or the captain, who are dictating their terms, who are saying that this is our approach towards the season. And that is where my favorite cricketer, MS Dhoni, says that meetings are a waste of time. Give time to people, let them discover more about themselves, let them work on themselves by realizing what they are lacking, and let them think that how they can be better. And that is the way that meetings cannot be a waste of time. That meetings can be a waste of time. Back to you, Table Topic Master.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Rahul. You had crossed the 2 minutes 30 seconds a little earlier. Sorry, I think there was a slight delay glitch here. Okay, coming to the next person who's volunteering. I've got lots of requests on personal chat. Sorry, this is as much as I can comprehend. Sorry for people who are being missed out. Next speaker would be Dr. Swati. Dr. Swati, do we have you on video and audio check?
Yes.
Yes. Dr. Swati, your topic is spare the rod, spoil the child. Spare the rod, spoil the child, Dr. Swati.
When I was a child, slap after slap after slap. It was from schools. In school, we would go to school, and there would be teachers who would actually pull a girl's hair by her braids and throw her to the other side of the room. Believe it or not, this is what happened in fairly well-known schools in Delhi. I had seen it, and I was totally shocked when I saw it. Because I had grown up in the United States when I was a small kid. And up to the age of 10, I grew up in a school where any punishment was terrible. Nobody could imagine getting a punishment for anything. And then suddenly I came to India in class 6 and I saw this thing happening. It was a total shock for me. What can I say? That was one way of teaching. It was one way of saying that I love you because I hit you. I hit you only because I love you. My mother would say, do I hit anybody else on the street? I don't hit all of the children of the street. I hit you because I love you. Believe it or not, even today, there are lots of abused women who are being abused by their spouses, and they do not realize that love is not hitting. They think that my mother used to hit me, my father used to hit me, my husband hits me now. Big deal. They love me. That's why they hit me. People are actually going up to these people and saying, this is not normal. You don't have to hit people to love them. This is not the norm. So we really need to change our ways. We need to change our ways. We cannot go around saying that hitting is a way of loving people. We love people, and we can find wonderful ways through today's internet resources that we didn't have 50 years ago. But today we have the internet. We can find better ways to solve problems than hitting people. I strongly suggest go to the internet and find help if you have a problem that you cannot think of how to solve without hitting a person. There are so many wonderful ways of mitigating conflict. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Swati. I could see you stretching to reach the 2-minute mark. It was a good attempt. It was very, very wonderfully expressed thoughts. With this, I would like to next come back to KTM and call someone who's been a member of KTM. Let me call a new KTM member, Toastmaster Adhiraj. Do we have you live here?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Great, Adhiraj. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Adhiraj, your topic is ignorance is bliss. Ignorance is bliss, Toastmaster Adhiraj.
Okay, so ignorance is bliss. I actually absolutely agree with this because on a personal level, I think I tend to overthink a lot. Whether it comes to sports or studies or even from investing in the stock market, I think when you tend to get too much into the depth of anything or too much into detail, then you tend to mess things up. So taking an example, so when I initially came to Calcutta, when I shifted here from Bombay, I decided that I'm going to start playing cricket seriously again. And so when I came here, I used to play these tennis ball tournaments and rubber ball tournaments. And I was doing really well. And even when I was playing serious loose ball cricket over here, I was doing really well. But then when I started getting into the nitty-gritties of it, started thinking too much about my game, I think I started faltering more. And that's why I feel that, if you tend to keep things simple and, of course you do have to think about it to some extent, but if you tend to keep things simple and just focus on the basics, then I think that's what works for you. However, I think to some extent you do have to get into, things in more detail if you want to progress. So, if you're trying to do things as a hobby or just as some sort of recreation, then it's okay if you look at it at a superficial level. But if you want to actually get into the detail, if you actually want to really progress with something, then you have to get into the details. You have to spend more time. And that's when I think you obviously have to invest more time in whatever you're doing. And that's why I feel that ignorance is not bliss. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Adiraj. It was well managed. The transition was smooth. Yeah, just a quick point out. So how Adiraj was trying to balance his opinion, because he said, hey, I don't believe that ignorance is not bliss. Over here in your second stance, I would request you to forget that the previous 1.5 minutes existed and take the exact opposite extreme opinion if you can, right? Okay, with this, the next speaker is Toastmaster Anusha. Distinguished Toastmaster Anusha.
Can I just have one clarification?
Yes, ma'am.
I get green, I switch sides. I get yellow. What do I do? From yellow,
No.
I can go on to red.
You get green, which indicates that you need to start switching your side. Yellow is the hard stop that you should switch your side immediately. Like stop there and switch if you haven't done so already. Red is when you should start wrapping up.
Okay, perfect.
Got it. Right.
Thank you.
So your DTM Anusha, your topic is multitasking is efficient. Multitasking is efficient, DTM Anusha.
How many mothers have you seen? Well, can anybody say they've not seen a mother? Nobody can. So all of them know the benefits of multitasking. How did you grow up? If there were even two of you, your mother had the ability to feed one kid, to dress up the other, to listen to the phone on the other side, and to tell her husband to open the door when the bell was ringing. What was she doing? She was multitasking. And that was the epitome of efficiency. Think about it in any perspective. Forget a mother. A mother was cited as the universal example which each one of us can never dispute or doubt. But think of your boss. You're sitting and having the phone, he picks it up. The person from the door opens the door and comes and gives him a file. He opens that and starts assessing it while listening to you. Do you ever want to change your boss? Well, I have another answer to that, but forget that. He has the ability to multitask, and multitasking is needed in today's world, or in any world for that matter. You cannot drive a car unless you know how to change the gears, press the brake, the kind of cars we have to change gears, and the accelerator. What are you doing? Multitasking. If you were not to multitask, you would never learn to drive a car. You would never learn to swim. Can you think of things like this, that trying to swim and you don't learn to breathe? Come on. Research shows that there is a big flaw in multitasking. Try hearing music and try studying together. That's the time the epitome of non-efficiency is reached, and this is proven by psychological studies. Two groups were taken. One group was given music to learn a list and to listen to music, and the other group had to do it without any music. Guess who performed better? The one without the music, of course. And that is the reason why we must understand, when you do one thing, do it well. If God had intended us to multitask, He would have given us more than one pair of lips, because that is what we use at the end of the day to function on. He's given us two hands, but that's for bilateral symmetry. He's given us two legs, that's to walk on, but He's only given us one mouth. So remember, ladies and gentlemen, multitasking is not the norm of the day. Be normal and don't multitask. Back to the table topics master.
Thank you so much, DTM Anusha. Wonderfully crafted thoughts. I was jubilant throughout the example when you were talking about the mother, because I could resonate with it. And I see this every day. Even like she's talking to me sweetly, but she's on the verge of slapping me. So, I mean, spare the rod, spoil the child on another note. But yeah. Okay. With this, we have the penultimate topic. Let's see. We have Toastmaster Purbita Datta. Toastmaster Purbita Datta, are you on? Video, audio check, please.
Yes.
Yes, all right. Toastmaster
I didn't
Purbita.
really raise my hand.
Okay, actually, the madam in command today suggested your name, so
Right. Okay.
it's no issue.
Sure. Yeah.
All right, like we said, we love making it uncomfortable for learners. Great. So an easy one here. Jack of all trades. Jack of all trades, Toastmaster Purbita Datta.
I think I'm really a good person to talk about this because I have 1,000,001 hobbies. I like cooking. I'm not really great at sports, but I like swimming. I sing. I play the keyboards. I sometimes dabble in painting and artwork. So I think being a jack of all trades is a really good thing because you get to diversify your talents. You get to learn things. Sometimes you get to involve yourselves in groups or clubs and meet new people and make new friendships. I also have been speaking and writing for a long time. So that's how I decided to join Toastmasters and meet all of you. So definitely learning, always trying to learn new things, always being on the lookout to gain new experience, gain new knowledge is definitely a great thing. I also happen to be interested in a variety of things. I learn courses from quantum physics to game theory to sometimes biology. So it kind of like is a little tough to understand all at once, but it makes me more clever, it makes me more smart, makes me that person who's a little annoying in the group, somewhat like a know-it-all, but still, I mean, it does make me a little more appealing. However, sometimes when you learn all these things at once, it can really mess up your brain. The worst part about being a jack of all trades is that you don't really focus on any one thing in particular. You just like learn everything that you can, but then it all gets like, it becomes like a huge mess in your brain. You don't focus on any one aspect of anything. You're not really a master of anything. A jack of all trades is a master of none. So what's the point in doing that? Anyone who's a professional, anyone who's doing good in their lives has mastered something in general. They don't really just go around doing different things. Like you just have a temporary job, or you'd be a freelancer not earning much if you didn't master anything. It's very important to focus on one thing or maybe two things and then master it completely instead of just trying to handle a lot of things at once, because that could really mess you up. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Purbita. A very well taken attempt. And yeah, the topic fit well. I was like, this is crafted for Purbita. This is great. Madam President, do we have time for one more topic?
Yes, the ultimate one, please.
Got it. Thank you so much. With this, the final speaker on the lineup for tonight is Toastmaster Rahul Nair. Toastmaster Rahul Nair, do we have you on audio and video?
Oh.
Yeah. Hey, so great.
Yes.
Toastmaster Rahul Nair, your topic is perfection is a flaw. Perfection is a flaw, Toastmaster Rahul.
So basically, perfection is not a flaw, because if you want to achieve something in life, we should be perfect in whatever we are doing, right? For example, if I want to be a businessman, then I should check what all the things which I need to know to start a business, right? So basically, I'm an aspiring social entrepreneur. So I want to start a system where the schooling and the government school should be improved. So in that case, I should know about the government schools. I should be perfect in what and the knowledge in the context where they are working. So I should be perfect in that. So perfection is not a flaw. In fact, we should drive ourselves towards perfection, so that we achieve what we want. And but at the same time, I believe that so at the same time, believe that whenever we are trying to be perfect, we sometimes lose on the things that we should be focusing more on. For example, we stress ourselves. For example, I've seen many investment bankers who try to be perfect at the deals that they do. So in that flow, they spend 14 to 15 hours every day working on deals, and in that case, they lose personal relationships. They go bad on their health. They have many diabetes, cholesterol, those problems. So I think at the same time, this should be managed. Perfection is not a flaw. Uh, so that's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Rahul, for being sporting and taking this up. This was a great session. Thank you Thank you everyone for volunteering and bearing with the confusion and taking it smoothly. Apologies to all those who couldn't be called upon. We will do justice and get back to you in the forthcoming meetings for sure. With that, the table topic session is a wrap. Back to the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Gurpreet. Can we have a huge round of applause for him, please?
Thank you, Toastmaster Achyut Todi, for the wonderful table topic. I think wonderful would be a very short term to use. I would say this innovative and interesting table topic session. It was indeed great. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we can give him another virtual round of applause. It was indeed wonderful, Toastmaster Achyut. Now, coming back to the theme of the day, the Chinese bamboo. Ladies and gentlemen, at times, as the boss of an organization, we become impatient for results. We really become impatient and go and reward the mushrooms just because they spring up one fine night and we go and just reward them. We don't realize that the next morning they are going to wither away. So it's a request, ladies and gentlemen, that it is time we ask ourselves, what kind of leadership styles do we follow? Are we the type of leader who allow the Chinese bamboo to grow? Or am I the kind of leader who would love to form an organization of stunted but quickly visible trees? With that, let me call back on the virtual podium the general evaluator for the evening, none other than Toastmaster Naren Agarwal. The stage is all yours.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the day. It has been a very jubilant meeting so far. I have been in jubilation throughout. We've had wonderful speeches, a wonderfully conducted emceeing process, and of course, a very innovative table topics session. So moving on with the evaluation section, without further ado, I would like to call upon stage the evaluator for the first speech that was delivered by Toastmaster Anisha. So I would like to call upon Toastmaster Rahul Maheshwari as the first evaluator.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, dear guests. Well, a leader is someone who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. And Toastmaster Anisha, in her speech, has shared her experience of exact the same thing. Toastmaster Anisha, there are a few things that I really that really stood out in your speech, starting with the beautiful way you met the project objectives. You had a story from the very beginning that gradually turned out about you explaining the questionnaire that you had taken in your pathways, which turned out of your leadership style being the democratic style. And then eventually the leadership role that you've performed in Toastmasters that you have mentioned in your story was completely in sync with your type of leadership. So the project objectives were met beautifully. Second is the choice of personal stories that you had in your speech that most of us in our meeting could actually relate with. Your stint as the Associate Vice President Public Relations, and how you led several campaigns in that role that you have to lead, and how you motivated others in your team as well to do their task. And that ultimately showcased the democratic style of leadership. Third was the message. Well, there were sprinkles of message all over your speech, but you being an experienced speaker, you made sure that you give a message in the conclusion as well. You said that how beneficial these leadership roles has been for you, for people you have nurtured to become better leaders, and how you explain the importance of these roles, and hereby urging all of us over here to take up these roles. Brilliantly done with the message. But Toastmaster Anisha, I have a few points of recommendations for you that could take the speech to the next level. Starting with you being a little relaxed and calm. When you're forgetting a part of your speech, you are showing it on your face, and you also eventually stuttered. There was also a moment when you, if you remember a part of your speech, you started saying that thing at 10x speed. Now what happens is that is bad for the organization of the speech and for people who are listening to the speech. So you have to be a little more relaxed and calm while you're delivering the speech. And that is where, even if you have the great content, that is where people actually choke on making the speech a great speech. So be a little more relaxed and calm. Second is the preparation. It seemed that you had mugged up your speech. And if it is your story, you don't need to mug up. It is right there. And even if you forget something, you make sure that, yeah, this was in my mind, so I can say it. So you're not mugging up the exact thing. You're just saying what is there in your heart, and then you're speaking from it. And it is okay to forget. But if you mug up, you're trying to remember the exact same line that was there in your mind. So don't mug up. Just remember what what the points of the speech were, and deliver the points with a good way of framing it. Third was the crutch hand gesture. Toastmaster Anisha, your hands were just over here. And whatever movements were happening, it was happening from here, from this position. So this hand gesture is something that I would suggest you not to keep it, and maybe keep it at a very position where these hands are not visible or act as a crutch gesture. On and all, the project objectives were met beautifully. The choice of personal stories were fantastic. The message was great. The crutch gesture was something that you could work on. The preparation, you have to prepare like you're coming to own the stage. Be a little more relaxed and calm, and this speech could have been way better. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rahul. I think you covered up very many points. A wonderful evaluation there. Toastmaster Nisha, just one thing to add upon to what Toastmaster Rahul said. In case you do feel nervous, or you feel that you want to be a little more relaxed during your speech, this is something that I would recommend, is that you could stand and speak. Because when you sit and speak, which we're not so used to in our traditional meetings, what happens is the lung capacity goes down, and when you're not breathing fully, you tend to get nervous. So if that is a problem, if you stand and speak, you tend to breathe deeper, and that relaxes you automatically biologically, as mentioned in the TED talk by Dr. Amy Cuddy on body language. So that might be able to help you. Thank you, Toastmaster Anisha, for the wonderful speech and inspiring us to lead. Moving on to speech 2, Toastmaster Komal Chararia. So I would like to invite Toastmaster Komal Chararia's evaluator, Toastmaster Vishesh Mehra. Toastmaster Vishesh Mehra, please go ahead with the evaluation.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Good evening, one and all present here. Am I audible? All right. So, a person who always gives their best, they automatically become a leader just by example. And this was the message our speaker, Toastmaster Komal, tried to deliver to us. She had an amazing start when she said, everyone can be a leader. And I was like, oh, me too. I can also be a leader. Oh, so it grabbed my attention, and I could say from the get-go that Toastmaster Komal is an innovative leader because the amazing usage of the background by putting up pictures which were related to the speech and the context of the speech to grab everyone's attention and to make sure everyone was in a way understanding what she's trying to deliver and what she's trying to say to each and every one of us. This speech particularly is a bit tough to deliver, but you involve great personal stories with each and every point, which showed that you were an amazing storyteller. Because with innovative planning, you had a story attached to it. With bureaucratic leader, you had the class monitor story. Then with the Democratic leader, you had the story for the college fest, which showed that your speech was very well written and very well structured. But the best part of your speech was the message you tried to deliver to each and every one of us, in a way motivating us to find out our latent talent, which is our latent leadership skill. We each and every day try to become a better leader, and you did this through great stories, great expressions, brilliant voice modulation. But as we all know, the biggest room is the room of improvement. Toastmaster Komal, you had one particular crutch gesture, which was this. You had amazing body language where you went on the rolling back to this, but it eventually ended up here. Everything ended up here. So try to keep your arms open while you speak and don't keep going back to this crutch gesture. This is something which you have to consciously work on to remove. The second point which I have for you is that you did not delve deep into any topic. You went touch and go, touch and go. You did not go deep into any topic. Many of us here may not know what does a bureaucratic leader mean, what does a democratic leader mean, what does an authoritative leader mean. You did not explain each and every point. When we are communicating or delivering a speech, we should not assume that people may know something. We should try and explain anything for better communication. That is the basic objective of communication and objective of delivering a speech. So all in all, Toastmaster Komal, you had an amazing speech with great story. You showed them that you are an innovative leader. Great message. Just work on the crutch gesture and on the content a bit more, and I'm sure you will become a better leader for tomorrow. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vishesh, for that energetic evaluation. Toastmaster Komal, I have to say, I have to re-mention this, but that was one of the most innovative usages of virtual background that I have seen in our Toastmaster meetings or anywhere, even in my business meetings. So that was absolutely wonderful. And it shows the amount of effort you have put in for your speech. So many kudos to you for that. What I really loved about that usage is that you had incorporated a personal kind of message for whoever was operating. So you used to say turn, and they used to turn up the virtual background, and that was very smartly done. And what a fantastic way to incorporate a cue with your speech. Fantastic. And that's all I have to say for your speech. Other points have been covered by the evaluator. Thank you, Toastmaster Komal. Moving on to the third speech by Toastmaster Abhishek Datta. I would like to invite DTM Sriram for his evaluation.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator. So, is I'm audible and visible? Just a small check. Yeah. Thank you so much. An inspiration speech is not the one which travels from lips to ears. It's the one which travels from heart to heart. And today, I must say that Toastmaster Abhishek Datta, your speech did not travel from heart to heart. Rather, it will be stayed forever in everybody's heart. The things which I really loved in your speech, number one, was your mixture of facial expression and vocal intonation, especially when you said, this is where the relatives comes and add a pinch of salt and throw it on your face. No, these are the ones which really created a lot of impact on us. The second thing which I loved in your speech was your befitting climax, because when you said, I don't believe in the fantasies of superheroes, but to me, my dad is my superhero. Do you also believe it? No, that was the open-ended question. When you posed, everybody acknowledged with yes, and somebody showed it with virtual. And there cannot be a befitting climax, not for your speech, but it was for your dad and for his achievements. And the third, the highlighting and the incantation part of your speech was the teeny weeny messages which you mentioned. It was like a hammer hitting on with a lot of messages. When you said, never lose hope, believe there is always a solution. Age is just a number, where my dad at the age of 45 started his second innings. When the God shuts one door, he will open the other door. No, a lot of small messages were inspiring to us. And now the last part is your title resonance, superhero. A fantastic title for your father, for his achievements and inspiration. Now, these are things which were beautiful and commendable in your speech. Now, there is always a difference between a motivation and an inspiration speech. There will be always a difference between a good speech and a great speech. And here are my few recommendations to travel from a good inspiration story to the great inspiration story. Number one, your camera position. We could see your camera position was like this. We could see only your face, but rather I could not see any of your hand gestures even though you were moving around. So I request you to next time stand and till your waist level, place your camera position and then deliver your speech so that we could be able to see your body language as well. Number two is vocal variation and modulation. You had a very good intonation, but I want you to concentrate on the modulation. Especially you started by mimicking your dad voice, but when you said for mother's voice, I thought you can add few modulation as well. Especially when she said, "From my ears, my tears were rolling down from my mom's ears. My dad replied in a calm voice to my relatives, but inside he had a fire in him." No, if you could play with these kind of variations, that would have added more impact. And number three is that inspiration stories, we always love to hear the challenges. We completely understand what the family situation was, your dad's situation. Now, when he transformed from when he doesn't lose hope, now how he did not lose hope. If you could have added few examples of that and challenges he faced and how he transformed, I think that would have been a great inspiration story. So to summarize, a good inspiration story with powerful messages. If you could polish your content by adding more challenges with some examples and camera position, I'm sure your speech will be the greatest inspiration and you will be the greatest inspirer for everybody in this world. Go to the general evaluator.
Wow, what a fantastic evaluation, distinguished Toastmaster Sriram. I got to learn so much from that evaluation myself. And to Toastmaster Abhishek, I would like to just say, as everything else has been covered, that you really had an intriguing start. And the best part was that you kept the intriguingness throughout the speech till the end. So it's not just that you gave us a nice intriguing start, but you stretched that throughout your speech. And my attention was on you. Truly a fantastic personal story that you have shared. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Abhishek. Moving on to the table topics session quickly, I would like to just evaluate the speakers who came in the table topics session very quickly. So first was Toastmaster Rupesh with the topic befriending parents. Toastmaster Rupesh, I really loved how you mentioned Ramayana, Mahabharata. At the same time, you mentioned the new Bollywood movie Padman. So it's really, you covered a lot of objectives. The only thing is, I guess Toastmaster Achyut did clarify the end, but if there was probably a little more clarification, maybe you could have bifurcated your stand in the middle of the speech had that been cleared. But I'm glad that you did attempt for that, and the way you shared the story was fantastic. So thank you to Toastmaster Dr. Rupesh. Toastmaster Rahul. Toastmaster Rahul, you had the topic, meetings are a waste of time. Toastmaster Rahul, I really loved how you clarified the types of meetings, one-on-one, the meeting with yourself. And what was really good is you were really bold with attacking the Toastmaster meeting times that we have right now. So I love the boldness with which you approached the topic. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Rahul. The third one was Toastmaster Dr. Swati. Spare the rod, spoil the child. Toastmaster Swati, thank you so much that you attempted this topic. And I think what I really liked is in the beginning, you took some 5 seconds to yourself to gather your thoughts. I think that requires a lot of courage, because sometimes we are scared to take that pause, but only if somebody is very confident are they comfortable in taking a pause on stage. So I really appreciate that. And thank you so much for that, Toastmaster Swati. Fourth speaker, table topics speaker, was Toastmaster Adhiraj. Toastmaster Adhiraj, being a new member, I think it was a fantastic, great attempt. I loved how you incorporated a personal example of cricket, which helped us and helped you really speak on the table topic, which is always a great tool to use, personal example. Fifth speaker for the table topic session was Toastmaster, distinguished Toastmaster Anusha. Distinguished Toastmaster Anusha, I would say it seemed more like a prepared speech to me than a table topics speech, because what you have was real clarity. You gave the example of a mother, etc. And then when you switch it up, you really hit us hard with the research. And you said research shows that if you play music together while studying, So that was absolutely fantastically done. I think you really lived it up to the Toastmaster table topic session and how it's perfectly done. Sixth speaker, Toastmaster Purbata, jack of all trades. I think you did very much justice to the way Toastmaster Akshit had asked us, the table topics master, to bifurcate our stances on the speech. So very well done. And lastly, Toastmaster Rahul, perfection is a flaw. What I really loved about your speech is right off the bat, you took a stance. So you made it very clear to us what stance you were taking when you started off. Thank you very much to all the table topics speakers. I think I truly enjoyed that portion of our meeting today. All right. Moving on to our role players, to my role players for today's meeting. I would like to invite the timer for today, Toastmaster Raghav, with your report.
A very good evening to all the Toastmasters. Today, all the prepared speeches were within the time, and as well as the evaluators were within the time. Only during the table topic session, Toastmaster Rahul Nair is disqualified as he couldn't reach the minimum time required to speak, and also Toastmaster Rupesh Singh is disqualified because he crossed the time limit of 3 minutes. He did speak for 3 minutes and 26 seconds. Thank you. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Raghav. Toastmaster Raghav, what I really loved about when you introduced yourself and the role was that you really clarified the timings very specifically, and you made it sure and you repeated yourself. So thank you for doing that. One thing that you could do is, while introducing your role, you could maybe try and relate it to the theme. So I think that would make your introduction a little fun. Thank you so much. Moving on to Toastmaster Umang as the R counter for the day.
Good evening, everyone, once again. Anisha used a few times. Toastmaster Adhiraj used a few times, so few times, and once. Toastmaster Purbita used a few times. Toastmaster Rahul Nair used a few times and so few times. And rest of the speakers were flawless. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Umang, for the concise report. The only recommendation I would have for you is if you could have a better camera angle where we could see you, because the view is chin up, so it would be better if you could see a little more of your upper body. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Umang. Moving on to the third role player who is assisting me today, Toastmaster Muskan as the grammarian.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. And wow, what an enthralling meeting. I enjoyed thoroughly. And I'm sure that most of the speakers had their sugar and salt in place. So with that, let me start with the speakers who used the word of the day. And they are Toastmaster Naren, Toastmaster Komal, Toastmaster Achyut, Toastmaster Shriram. These are the recommendations I have for the speakers, or the phrases and the words they could have improved on, are looked shocked. It will be looked shocked. Do we have any other options? Do we have any other option? My father is right, actually. We can skip the actually word. My father was right. Coming back, one more. This is what. This is why. So coming back to the recommendations and the good usages of words and phrases, the words I'm starting with: oblivious, empathy, nonchalant, compliance, crunch situation, life-altering, regime. And the good phrases which were used in the meeting: if you never start, you will never know. Teamwork is the dream work. Impress our knowledge. Thank you, and over to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Muskan. You did a very wonderful report as the grammarian. What I really loved about your role is that when you introduced yourself, you had really great energy, and you came with a good intro, and you continued that energy when presenting your report. What I appreciated about you today is that you had reposted the word of the day after the prepared speech section was over, in the chat again, because in the chat things tend to get lost. So you had reposted as a reminder for everybody. So great job. And that's what reminded me to try and use the word of the day again. Thank you for that. Moving on to the fourth role player today, the wow counter, Toastmaster Anam.
Hi, good evening, everyone, and hello again. I want to share my screen, so can I please share my screen to show the wow? Yeah, I hope it's visible.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so it was very difficult to list down the 3 wow moments and then to rank them, but here it is. My first wow moment, like the third wow moment, was when grammarian TM Muskan gave the sentence that about attending the meeting, the 643rd meeting of Kolkata Toastmasters Club. So I loved how she used the word and also mentioned that we have this is our 643rd meeting. And then the next one was definitely the success mantra and the impact that Toastmaster Abhishek created. And his speech felt very in sync with the topic. I mean, the delivery felt like that, like gradually, just like the Chinese bamboo tree, it gradually grows. And in the end, there is this one tall tree there. So the last line of his speech was, the first step to success is to believe there is success. Like there is that impact was so good and so great. So that was a wow moment for me. And finally, I loved how the wheel turner, Toastmaster Komal, turned the wheel and made her presentation so engaging and attractive by continuously changing the background. And I loved how in sync it was with her speech. So that's all from my side. Thank you. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Wonderful, Toastmaster Anam. Thank you so much. Toastmaster Anam, I must say, like this is probably the first time I'm seeing a wow counter presenting their report so innovatively. I mean, I think I'm so lucky that I've been part of this meeting that has seen so much innovation when it comes to speakers, Toastmaster Komal, Toastmaster Akshat, and you now presenting the wow counter report. Truly well done, creating a presentation so quickly and swiftly. But I also appreciated, while you were introducing your role, you had related your role to the theme. And that's always interesting when the ancillary role players do that, because typically the introductions tend to be the same. Wonderful. Moving on to the parliamentarian who stepped in last minute, Toastmaster Mridula as a standing precedent.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Thank you, Toastmaster Naveen. All the parliamentary rules were followed, except some unmuting out of turn, because we try to respect the speakers on the podium by keeping ourselves muted while a speaker is on the podium. So try to follow this and try to maintain this in the future sessions. Apart from this, all the other rules were followed. Thank you, and back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mridula. Your background seems perfect as the parliamentarian overlooking the earth of the Toastmasters meeting and ensuring all of us follow everything together from up top. And also thank you for stepping up right in time because Toastmaster Keshav was having some technical glitches for this ancillary role. Thank you so much. Wonderful. Now, I would just like to move on and say a few things about the entire meeting. But before that, the Sergeant at Arms today, Toastmaster Sumit Kumar. I was here at 6:59 and I was wondering, some people were saying hi, hello. And I was wondering if you would really start at 7 o'clock, but you did. So thank you so much for right on time doing that and keeping that culture up that we have here at Kolkata Toastmasters Club. Second, the standing precedent, Toastmaster Mridula. I would say you came in the clutch, as they say, or stepped up twice today in the meeting. One as a standing precedent because President Shreya was not here today, and also helping me in filling up the parliamentarian role. So thanks so much for doing that. I really appreciate that. What I would also like to say is Table Topics Master of the Day. Table Topics Master of the Day, Toastmaster Achyut. You were fantastic. I mean, you proved to be the Elon Musk of Kolkata Toastmasters Club Table Topics with your innovativeness and the kind of boldness you approached the topic with. Also, I loved how you were assertive about what you wanted and weren't shy to re-explain it to the speakers and reaffirm the rules as to what you were looking for. So a job truly fantastically done. You did keep it challenging. And I think that was a fun part of doing it. You helped us grow. Toastmaster Achyut, fantastic topics, fantastic thought process, and a great conducted session. Finally, Toastmaster of the Day. Toastmaster of the Day. I felt like your whole process of emceeing from the beginning to the end, that could all be crafted together and become an inspirational speech in itself. You started off with the Chinese bamboo tree examples, but in the middle, you kept naming people and giving examples of people who acted as a Chinese bamboo tree in real life. A truly unique topic that you had picked, and with the examples that you had memorized, it was almost a beautifully crafted speech in spurs throughout the meeting. All I can say is today's meeting, I'm so grateful that I have been part of this as the general evaluator, because all I have to say is say good things because of the innovativeness in the speech and the kind of quality that we heard today speaking. Welcoming the standing president of today's meeting, Toastmaster Mridula, with her wonderful background overlooking the earth.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Naren. Can we have a huge round of applause for the first time general evaluator of the evening who presented such a comprehensive and enriching feedback for all of us? Can we have a huge round of applause for Toastmaster Naren? Okay, so first of all, I would like to thank our Toastmaster, our Secretary, Toastmaster Tanish, who has been very diligently sharing the minutes of the meeting, and he has shared the minutes of the previous meeting, that is the 642nd meeting with us. And I am sure that all of us have considered it to be passed within 48 hours of releasing the meeting, the minutes of the meeting. So thank you, and can we have a round of applause for Toastmaster Tanish? Quickly moving forward, can we have the voting links shared, please? Please float the voting link on the chat box, and I would request everyone to kindly cast your vote. And as we cast our votes, I would like to say kudos to all the members of Kolkata Toastmasters Club and all our esteemed guests for joining us today and for making this a very insightful and enriching session. And I'm sure all of us are going to take back some moments of learning and some moments of enjoyment with all of us and treasure these memories for days to come. First of all, Naren, thank you for such a comprehensive feedback. And once again, and apart from that, I would like to say what a wow counters report by first time wow counter Toastmaster Anam. So let's have a huge round of applause to encourage her, and hope to see you back in our future meetings, oozing with the creativity and the innovativeness.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, Toastmaster Anam. Next, we would like to talk about the three speeches. So Toastmaster Anisha, thank you for letting us know what it is to work around people, with people, and for people, because being a servant leader is what Toastmasters is all about, right? Apart from that, Toastmaster Komal, thank you for sharing the crux of a leader. What makes a leader? The main points which makes us a leader: having empathy, treating others with kindness, and for being an active listener. It was a wonderful speech filled with your innovativeness and your creativity. Thank you for such a wonderful speech. Next, Toastmaster Abhishek, we are looking forward to your future speeches, and thank you for such an inspirational message in your speech, and where you gave credit to your real life superhero, your father. Next up, the wow moment of this meeting for me, Toastmaster Achyut, with closely being supported by Toastmaster Raghav, who is a timer for the evening, for promptly and quickly handling the timer cards so effectively and flagging them on time. So Toastmaster Achyut, thank you for being the perfectionist that you are. I know that you were very excited. You were uber excited for this table topic session. And I'm sure all of us have learned a lot from this session. And we are taking home some opinions, some perspectives, and we can always try to implement this in our own lives, thinking at one particular situation from two different angles, and then make a final decision. So thank you, Toastmaster Achut, for giving us this opportunity to think. Now, last but not the least, we learned to take a pause, to assess the situation, and always keep at something, keep at doing something, keep persevering. Thank you for letting us know and giving us the confidence and the motivation to be that butterfly who, after a long period of struggle as a caterpillar, turned into and blossomed into a beautiful butterfly. Thank you for binding the entire meeting together, Toastmaster Gurpreet, the Toastmaster of the day. So similarly, as Toastmaster Gurpreet said, that we need to persevere, we need to keep at something in order to be successful. Toastmasters is the perfect place to do that and to practice that. And today we have someone with us who has been a part of a new club, who is slowly turning and celebrating, turning into a butterfly. And they're going to have their century meeting. And today we have someone from that club who is going to invite all of us to their wonderful session. So over to you, Toastmaster Sonu from Infinity Toastmasters Club. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mridula, for such a wonderful introduction of my club. And a very good afternoon to all dear Toastmaster and guests. It was, first I would like to say, it was really always a fun for me to be part of this club, because always I see some sort of innovation. So I saw the table topic master, the way the innovation. So it's always a takeaway message, a takeaway learning for me. And today I'm here just on behalf of my club to invite you all for the 100th meeting of my club. As thank you, Toastmaster Mridula, for sharing this. It is the flyer of my club, that is Infinity Toastmaster Clubs, invites you all for the 100th meeting, that is this coming Saturday, 26th, Saturday, 3 to 5. It will be a great privilege, and I really cordially invite you all to be part of that. I assure you, we have taken a lot of effort to make it very exciting, and I'm sure it will be a wonderful moment and you all will enjoy a lot. And with this, back to you, Toastmaster Mridula.
Sorry to interrupt, Mridula, we cannot hear you.
Okay, thank you so much, Toastmaster Gurpreet. Yes, thank you, Toastmaster Sonu. We are really happy to have you with us today, and we would love to join Infinity's 100th session, because 100, crossing the century mark, is extremely special. So thank you for being here with us today. Okay, so quickly moving forward, just give me a moment, please. Has everyone voted? Kindly show me a thumbs up. Yes, I can see some thumbs ups coming in. Thank you so much. All right. So, okay. So next up, we have somebody who is on the verge of turning into a butterfly, on the verge of becoming that great bamboo tree from that small shrub. Somebody who is going to pledge to be a Toastmaster. Please welcome Toastmaster Dr. Rupesh Singh. I would like to invite Toastmaster Dr. Rupesh Singh to kindly induct now from a future Toastmaster, Toastmaster Shohini Das, as a member of the oldest community club of Eastern India, Kolkata Toastmasters Club. Toastmaster Dr. Rupesh Singh, over to you.
So welcome, Sohini. Welcome to the great journey of path to leadership, I'll say. And this is the platform where definitely you were part of the several meetings. Based on that, you decided. And I'll say welcome, and be with us. So we'll try to learn from you. We'll try to teach you. We'll try to guide you, and same time take learnings from you. And we together will do to the Toastmasters, Kolkata Toastmasters. Welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to be a part of this family. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you and welcome to Kolkata Toastmasters Club. And thank you, Toastmaster Dr. Rupesh Singh, for inducting Toastmaster Shohini. Shohini, we are looking forward to learning from you, and we are looking forward as you unlock the doors of continuous learning and lots of creativity and lots of fun.
Thank you. I'm very excited as well. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. Looking forward to having you in our future sessions. Okay, so now guys, I would like to share with all of you a reason of jubilation, a reason to celebrate, not one, but two. We have a double bonanza today because we have earned and we have been awarded the Rising Star Gold Award as well as the Smedley Award. And it has been awarded by District 41 and Toastmasters International to Kolkata Toastmasters Club. Teamwork makes the dream work, and this team has been headed by our Vice President membership, Toastmaster Gurpreet Singh. So kudos to you, Gurpreet, and the entire executive committee for achieving this. Congratulations, Gurpreet, and congratulations to Kolkata Toastmasters Club.
Thank
Would
you
you like to
so
say,
much. Congratulations to everyone. Yeah.
Would you like to say
Congratulations. Yeah. I'm so excited I'm interrupting you. So congratulations to all the members of Kolkata Toastmasters Club. It's been a teamwork, like no man can do it single-handedly. So kudos to the entire team, to the executive committee, and to all the members. Back to you, Toastmaster Mridula.
Yes, thank you so much. Now I would request the Tech Master and the Sergeant at Arms to kindly share the feedback, share the results with me. All right, so we have the results here. Okay, so before we have the results, I would like to seek feedback from a couple of our guests here. Any guest who would like to share their feedback, kindly raise your hand or unmute yourself. Yes, Dr. Swati, I can see you raising your hand. Kindly share your feedback.
I loved your sessions today. Your role players, all of them were so good. It was really, really very enjoyable. Only one suggestion I have is if you have the bandwidth, then please show your faces for video, because then the speakers can know whether you enjoyed the talk or whether you're getting bored. They can help improve themselves. It's much more easier. Of course, you need the bandwidth, and not doubting that. But if you can, then more members should try to turn their videos on. Otherwise, it was absolutely wonderful. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Swati, for sharing your feedback. Anybody else who would like to share their feedback? Distinguished Toastmaster Sriram, do we have you with us? Would you like to share your feedback?
Yes, thank you, Madam President. Yeah, I really love this environment. Actually, it was so very cohesive and very fun-filled, and a lot of variation in the speeches. I could see one was giving an inspiration speech, another was giving an emotional speech. So a lot of variation and creative table topics as well. A different way of, it's not just to give a topic and then speak it. So he gave some like little bit improvements which we need to follow. Like you at the 1 minute you need to turn like this, you need to switch your views. So that made us that we need to listen more. We need to know where to stop and where to end. I mean, like these are the things which we learn. And thank you for it. And one thing which I really loved is that the wow counter, these practice, we don't have it in our club or in our district. So that is a great takeaway for me, which I can share it with your permission and the XCOM permission. I could share this, that can we implement this role in our club as well. So that is one thing. If you give me the permission, I would share it to our XCOM team. So I think I'm getting a lot of learnings, and thank you so much, and very powerful speeches, and wish to participate in your future meetings as well. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for the opportunity, madam, for playing the role of an evaluator as well. Thank you so much. Everybody says me that when I speak, people generally go off mute. Is my speech made you so mute, President, we could hear you?
All right, okay. All right, so that was a good one. Humor in your feedback as well. So thank you so much for sharing your feedback. We are sure to take the recommendations, and I'm sure the speakers will be taking it forward from there. Any other guest who would like to share their feedback? We have Kritika, Amit, Aparajita. Would you guys like to share your feedback? Anybody? Kindly unmute yourself. All right.
Hi, Mridula.
Yes, Aprajita.
This is Aprajita. Hi.
Yes.
So this was my second time joining the Toastmasters Club meeting. So I was traveling home from work, and I joined on my cell phone because I didn't want to miss it. It was a hello. Hello.
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Yeah.
Please share.
So it was a very enriching session, and I hope to participate very soon.
Thank you so much, and we are also looking forward to hosting you in our future sessions. So try to become a future Toastmaster. You are a future Toastmaster right now, and I'm sure with the right motivation and the right direction, you are going to do wonders as a Toastmaster. So I would like to declare the results now, the most awaited part of the session. And there are some surprises, but not most of them, because most of them we could clearly understand during the session. Kudos to all the role players, all the speakers, and everyone who took an active participation, who participated actively during the session. Okay, so without further ado, let's look at the results. So first up, we have in the category of the best role player category 1, that is among timer, our counter, grammarian, parliamentarian, and wow counter. We have somebody with us who wowed us with her presentation and impromptu feedback and her mindfulness. So please put your hands together to the best wow counter of the evening, Toastmaster Anam Rahman. Let's have a huge round of applause for her, please.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Congratulations, Anam. Okay, now next up, the best role player among the Toastmaster of the day, the general evaluator, and the table topics master. Any guesses, please? Come on, you can unmute yourself.
It's tough this time, Mridula.
It's very tough, right? Because all the three role players were amazing today. So today it goes to none other than the extremely creative and the extremely innovative who painstakingly made a presentation to explain the rules of the game with us, Toastmaster Achyut Todi. Can we have a huge round of applause from Toastmaster Achyut? All your efforts paid off, Achyut. We're looking forward to your future sessions.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mridula. A big special mention to Toastmaster Raghav for the meticulous timekeeping and bearing with my countless messages, and also Mridula for supporting the run-up and the preparation to this session. It was it was actually a challenging position to be able to do something like this because I wasn't sure of the reception, but an amazing audience made it smooth. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Achyut, Toastmaster Raghav, and all the wonderful guests and Toastmasters we had in our session today. Now, next up, we have somebody who is quite a regular in our table topic sessions and somebody we love to host in all of our sessions. The best table topic speaker for the evening, distinguished Toastmaster Anusha Khurana. Can we have a round of applause for her, please?
Thank you.
Congratulations, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here with us today. Now, next up, we have the best evaluator. And the best evaluator is also our guest evaluator, a guest Toastmaster from the South, distinguished Toastmaster Sriram Venkataraman. Thank you for being here with us today and congratulations to you. Can we have a huge round of applause for him, please?
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much.
And are we missing anybody? Are we missing anybody? The best speakers. Yes, you are right, Toastmaster Rahul. We have the best speaker and the most improved speaker. Okay, this is a tie. The most improved speaker for the evening goes to Toastmaster Anisha Agarwal. Can we have a round of applause for her, please? And the best speakers for the evening, it's a tie. No guesses for that. The very innovative Toastmaster Komal and the inspiring and motivating Toastmaster Abhishek. Thank you for sharing your stories with us and making this evening one of the very best. Thank you so much and congratulations to all of you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So with that, I would like to bring this meeting to a close. Thank you everyone for joining us today, and we look forward to having you with us in the future sessions. Please join us on 25th of September, same time, same place, and a different Zoom meeting ID. So thank you for joining and good night. If anybody would like to stay back or share something, please do so.
Only one thing from my side, Mridula, this is Sriram here.
Yes, yes, please.
Yeah, like I said, right, the wow counter is actually something which is really, really new for us. So I wish that I would try to implement in our club. So with your permission, probably can I go ahead and suggest it to my XCOM team that can we have a wow counter?
Absolutely, sir. That's your call if you would like to, because we are in a community where we all learn from each other, right? And we learn from each other and we try to make ourselves better. So if you feel that something will be adding value to your meeting, please go ahead.
Thank you so much. No, it was really a new one. Like generally Welter appreciates everything, but a wow counter is something like they go and they say the moments which were actually heartwarming, and it was like will be living in our minds, right? Especially when we hear an inspiration story from a father, and it requires more than an appreciation. When a speaker comes and put forward the emotions of a father, so and you make it as a wow moment. So I think that was the role. It's very interesting and also like very commendable. That's what I felt, and I wanted to